Beneath the glimmering surface of classic Hollywood lies a world of intrigue and hidden truths. While these stars dazzled audiences with their talent and charm, many kept dark secrets that could shatter their polished images. Here are classic Hollywood stars with dark secrets. 1. Cary Grant. In 1960, Good Housekeeping magazine received an unexpected phone call from Cary Grant, the debonair Hollywood icon known for his refined persona and aversion to interviews. Grant, however, had something unconventional to discuss: the benefits of substances. After years of battling emotional scars from his childhood, the actor had turned to substance therapy and become an outspoken advocate for its use. Born into poverty in Bristol, Grant's early life was filled with challenges. His father was unfaithful, and his mother suddenly disappeared after being committed to a mental asylum. These events that haunted him throughout his life. Success in Hollywood didn't bring him peace, but his third wife introduced him to therapy, which he claimed had a profound impact on his mental well-being. Between 1958 and 1961, Grant reportedly took substances over 100 times, experiencing transformative and often bizarre visions. In one such trip, he famously imagined himself as a giant phallus launching into space. While he initially became an evangelist for the drug, encouraging others to try it, he eventually distanced himself from it as it grew popular among the counterculture. Concerned that his image might be tied to the emerging hippie movement, Grant quietly stopped using substances, preserving his reputation as the suave, sophisticated actor who captivated audiences, leaving behind his experimentation phase. 2. Peter Lorre. If you've ever seen photos of Peter Lorre, you've probably noticed his perpetually droopy eyes, giving him a look of unending exhaustion. He used this distinctive appearance to carve out a niche as Hollywood's go-to actor for playing oddballs and villains. However, Lorre's tired look was less about genetics and more about his long-standing battle with addiction. Lorre's problem began long before his film career. After undergoing appendix surgery in Europe, his doctors kept him heavily dosed with morphine, eventually leading to dependency. According to the London Review of Books, his reliance on the drug was common knowledge in Hollywood. In fact, friends would joke that the M in M, the German thriller where he played a serial killer, stood for morphine. When Lorre moved to Hollywood, his addiction escalated to include more items. At times, his career choices were influenced by how a role would accommodate his drug habit. For example, he accepted the role of Mr. Moto in an 8-film series not just for the paycheck, but because the crew allowed him to shoot up in his trailer. Despite being so drugged out on set that he could barely climb stairs, Lorre still managed to outperform his co-stars, proving that his talent shone through, even in the darkest periods of his life. 3. Orson Welles. Most people who undergo plastic surgery for a nose job aim to make their noses smaller, but Orson Welles had the opposite goal. The renowned actor and director believed his nose was too small for his face, so he had the makeup department fashion larger, prosthetic noses for every role he played. Welles was known to sport a fake nose in nearly all his films. Early in his career, the noses were relatively subtle, but as time went on, they became increasingly exaggerated, transforming into bulging, oversized features that dominated the center of his face. His obsession with these fake noses was so intense that he refused to work without them, while juggling the dual roles of actor and director, such as when he took on an acting role in Black Magic, while still directing Macbeth. Welles seemed more preoccupied with his collection of prosthetic noses than with completing his films. After each production, Welles would name his fake noses and keep them at his Hollywood home, where they became quirky conversation pieces. He even liked to pull them out at parties to perform magic tricks, turning his collection of unusual prosthetics into an eccentric form of entertainment, further proving his reputation as a larger-than-life figure, both on and off the screen. 4. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford appeared to have it all: a glamorous life, 3 Academy Award nominations, a reputation for charitable giving, and 5 adopted children. She even had a rumored one-night stand with Marilyn Monroe, proving that old Hollywood could generate scandal as wild as anything from the modern internet era. However, beneath this polished exterior, Crawford was reportedly consumed by egotism and jealousy, traits her adopted daughter, Christina, exposed in her infamous book, Mommy Dearest. Published a year after Crawford's death, Mommy Dearest depicted the legendary actress as a cruel mother. Christina's shocking revelations included claims that Crawford lied to her, telling her that her birth mother had died when she hadn't. She also recounted traumatic stories, such as Crawford flying into a rage over dresses hung on wire hangers and physically hurting her adopted children. While the book has its detractors, two of Crawford's other adopted children denied these allegations. The stories were plausible, given Crawford's well-documented erratic behavior. Crawford's shady adoption methods are also part of her darker legacy. One of her children was reclaimed by their birth mother just days after arriving. Adding to her reputation was Crawford's infamous feud with fellow actress Bette Davis, which reached its peak when Crawford sabotaged Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte to prevent Davis from winning a third Oscar. There are many stories about her that can't be hidden. 5. William Claude Dukenfield. William Claude Dukenfield is famous for playing grumpy, hard-drinking characters who didn't like people much. His on-screen persona felt so real that it often seemed like he was just being himself. In his retrospective on Fields' classic 1940 film The Bank Dick, film critic Roger Ebert offered detailed insight into the actor's alcohol-fueled antics. Fields spent much of his career in a perpetual state of inebriation, so much so that he was reportedly obsessed with never being caught without a drink. He hoarded enough alcohol in his attic to last an astounding 25 years, with some suggesting this was a precaution against a potential return of prohibition. As Fields aged, his reliance on alcohol increasingly affected his career. He began demanding $15,000 for every screenplay he penned, often leaving producers with little more than vague chicken scratches on the backs of envelopes. This behavior became part of his legend, reinforcing his image as a difficult yet brilliant talent. Beyond his film roles, Fields had a penchant for mischief. His friend, Groucho Marx, recounted how Fields would entertain himself by hiding in the bushes outside his home, firing a BB weapon at unsuspecting passers-by. This combination of comedic genius and real-life absurdity made Fields a larger-than-life figure in Hollywood, cementing his legacy as both a beloved icon and a notorious troublemaker. 6. Peter Sellers. Most people have common fears: heights, snakes, or spiders. But for Peter Sellers, it was the color purple that sparked genuine terror. Sellers' eccentricity was far removed from the bumbling characters he often portrayed on screen. In reality, he was notoriously difficult to be around. His volatile behavior included screaming meltdowns on film sets and aggressive outbursts at his wives, during which he would smash dishes and even threaten them with a shotgun. Frustrated with the power dynamics on set, Sellers often took his ire out on lower-level crew members, getting them fired when he felt wronged. He was also known for his vaguely racist attitudes and deep superstitions, believing that the esteemed director Vittorio De Sica possessed supernatural knowledge. While working on After the Fox, Sellers witnessed De Sica berate a script girl for wearing purple, declaring it the color of death. This moment struck a chord with Sellers, who became convinced that the color could actually kill. From that point on, he would throw tantrums whenever he encountered purple, going to great lengths to avoid it. This bizarre phobia, coupled with his erratic behavior, painted a picture of a man whose genius was matched only by his eccentricities, leaving an indelible mark on both his life and career. 7. Tippi Hedren. Tippi Hedren is best known for her iconic performance in Alfred Hitchcock's 1963 thriller The Birds, where she famously portrayed a woman terrorized by a flock of birds. However, it might surprise many to learn that she shared her Hollywood home with an even more fearsome companion, a fully grown 400-pound male lion named Neil. This unusual arrangement stemmed from Hedren's long-standing commitment to wildlife conservation. She had dedicated decades to saving big cats and received numerous awards for her efforts. Living with a lion wasn't just a flashy move to impress other Hollywood stars. It actually showed her deep commitment to animal welfare. Still, it was undeniably impressive and undeniably terrifying. Neil had free reign of the house, often strolling through the living room when guests visited. At that time, Hedren's teenage daughter, Melanie Griffith, lived with her and would sometimes allow Neil to sleep in the same bed with her. While Neil didn't harm Hedren, Griffith, or their guests, the family eventually acquired other lions, leading to several close calls. Tragically, Griffith even required facial reconstruction surgery after being mauled. In retrospect, Hedren has admitted that keeping a lion in her home was stupid beyond belief, reflecting on the dangerous and reckless nature of their extraordinary living situation. If you like this video, do not forget to share and subscribe. Also, let us know in the comments who surprised you in this list of classic Hollywood stars with dark secrets.